Yo guys, what is up? It is Epic Ninja Jude back with another Injustice 2 mobile video for you guys. And today I'm going to be doing a video on the top 10 teams or characters that you should probably work on for raids. And just before we get into the video, I just want to mention that this video is primarily based at new players or players that haven't got all the characters built. So they watch this video, then they know who to work on, which characters do the most damage in raids, which characters are just overall the best characters for raids. So without that out of the way, we're gonna start off our list, but we're not gonna start off at number 10. We're gonna start off at our two honorable mentions. So the first honorable mention I have is Predator Batman slash Batman. These two characters both come under the same category, as they're pretty much the same. It's just that Silver Batman is probably better for Gorilla Grodd, and Predator Batman is just better than Silver Batman for anything else, but he's also good for Grodd. Now, these two characters are very old characters who used to be probably the best raid characters back in the day. For all, like, the newer, newer characters that now dominate raids, like Silver Banshee and King of Atlantis Aquaman, who we'll get onto later. But he still does okay damage. He doesn't do that much compared to other people, but he's still, I think, if you've got everyone else built, then he's not a bad guy to build. Yeah, he can do a bit of damage. It's not much, maybe like 2, 3, maybe 4 million. But yeah, I just thought I'd put him in honorable mentions just for old time's sake. And he was actually the first character that I ever maxed, so he has a special place in my heart. And for our second and final honorable mention, I have Black Manta. Now, the reason why I put this out in honorable mention is because mainly it's because he's a new character. He's legendary, and what does it mean? So what if he's legendary? Doesn't that mean he's better? It can, but it also means that you have to spend a shitload of resources trying to get him, unlock him from chests. Because as you can see, well, it just says collect shards to unlock, but at the moment he's only available from chests. And again, you have to rely on a certain degree of luck to get him. And then, aside from the gems that you spend to get him, which can be either what, like, I don't know how much is for his chest, maybe 400 or 10 million or whatever. You also have to spend stuff to upgrade him, so which you do have to with every character, but his gears don't drop from raids, which is another downside to working on him. So there's just a lot of resources, and saying this, he can do amazing damage. Like Aobat released a video of him doing some insane damage to phase 1. Nothing on LOA, for example, but on people like Gorilla Grodd, he can do quite a lot of damage. I think more than Aquaman could do, or more than LOA could do on there. But yeah, by saying putting him on this list, I am implying that you should work on him. But yeah, so I don't recommend spending resources to get him, although he can do good damage if you do have him, and that's also at 6-star. He's best. 5-star, 4-star is also good, but yeah. Okay, so now that the honorable mentions are done, we're going to be moving on to the main list. So I'm going to try and go through this as quickly as possible because, well, because I want to keep the video as short and concise as possible, but it may take a bit of time. So starting off at number 10, we have Black Adam. Now, Black Adam, well, he's been in the game for a decent amount of time, and to be honest, I like Black Adam. He pretty much lies on spam, and he's probably best for phases 3 and 4. He can also do damage on phase 1, but I wouldn't recommend using him there because he specializes in phases 3 and 4. So the average pip could probably do at least 3 million plus, and a very good pip can do 5 million and even one shot a tier 6 phase. He's good in tier 7 and 8 because he can do that little chip damage to phase 3 and 4, which you need. You need every pip helps, every million helps in those tiers. The way to play him, you use one special one, or you use a special one, and that effect, as you can see, I'm about to show you. So it basically just reduces the power, and then you use the special 3, which has a pretty much 60% chance to steal the power, and yeah, it'll cost, with Dr. Fate or Power Girl, it'd cost 1 power bar, and I think without them it costs 2 power bars. So basically, this guy is all spam. Now, the reason why he's at number 10 and not higher on the list is because he is very RNG based. Like, you could go in a game and there's one or two possible outcomes. Either one, you get the effects, so like the power reduction, the enemy power increase, or the power steal. Either you get that first time, every single time you get super lucky, or alternatively, you go in and you have to try at least 5, 6, 7, 8 times even to get it, and it's really frustrating. And that's the reason why he's down here, because he's quite RNG based. And with the other characters in the list, I really wouldn't recommend working on him first. Okay, now number 9 on our list, I do have a character that's, well, fairly recently been reworked, and that's Heartbreaker Harley Quinn. So she's a strong, pretty underrated card. Well, she used to be quite an underrated card, but I think at the moment she's overshadowed by Last Laugh the Joker. She can one shot tier 6, and you usually play her with Arkham Knight Batman and EPI, so Entangling Poison Ivy. So the Poison Ivy pretty much provides the DOT, which is damage overtime for those that don't know, and Arkham Knight Batman provides the ability to stun the bosses. So she's best on, well, I'd see it most used on Gorilla Grodd, and so what you basically do is, like, just a basic rundown of it. I'm not going to go into full detail. What you basically do with it is you use Arkham Knight Batman with his stun bomb to stun the boss, so Gorilla Grodd, and then you tag in Heartbreaker Harley Quinn, and because her ability means that she does extra damage to stunned people, you just basically use her special 3 and just do a lot of damage with the DOT, and it does lead to a lot of damage. The reason why she's at number 9 is because, well, there is a better pip that I'll talk about later, which is LOA, or LLJ, which provides a ton more damage on both Gorilla Grodd and Phase 1, and also Arkham Knight Batman is a legendary, which we need to keep in mind, so he is harder to get, and he's not just there, like, he's hard to get, so unless you, like, constantly rolling chests or you get very lucky, you might not have him as a new player, so that's why that's why this pip is lower down on the list. Now, at number 8, we have a slightly different character. That's Reverse Flash. So in my opinion, Reverse Flash is the best combo builder for raids, and honestly, 100% work on him if you need a combo builder. He's the first combo builder I think you should build, and he works, I think, best with Silver Banshee, but he also works well with any other damage dealer, obviously. That's because he can steal power. Yeah, I think he can do that 3 times a match, and as well as this, he also has 3 FA hits. So obviously you want to build it with health, defense, and fast attack. The reason why he's 8th and not higher, because, well, I think he's the best combo builder, is because I wanted to mainly focus on other characters, like other team setups. But I thought I should have a combo builder on the list at least, or having its own spot, because, well, the game isn't completely just about damage dealers. You do also need combo builders and supports to, well, be good at raids. Now, at number 7, we have Justice League. When I say Justice League, I don't mean, because there are quite a few Justice League. There's Mythic Wonder Woman, Justice League Cyborg, Justice League Batman, Aquaman, even Superman, who's not as good, but yeah. So I'll just focus on Justice League Cyborg as of now, because there's Justice League Flash as well, but you don't really want to use him as, well, you don't really want to use him as a damage dealer, because I think, honestly, he's a very good damage dealer, but he's works better and you get more damage from him if you use him as a support for other pips. So I'll focus on Justice League Cyborg for now, and I'll just, when I say what I say, I'm talking about Justice League Cyborg as a damage dealer. So it's a pretty OG team. I think this is one, well, definitely top 5, but I'd say this is probably the second, or maybe even first, arguably, like, most game-changing character or team that's ever come out, especially Justice League Cyborg. Like, his ability to do that much damage from his passive came out. Well, he didn't come out of nowhere, but it was just changed the whole meta back when it came out, and it's a really OG team, and even now it can still do decent damage. But I guess they've kind of fallen off because they have no one specific place where they're good. I guess phase two and also phase four. Phase four they're very useful. But phase two, phase four, maybe Captain Cole is where they're best at. But again, there are other people. Let's say like King of Lantis Aquaman phase two or Multiverse Armored Supergirl for CC. Like there were just other people that do their job better. But Justice League Cyborg is overall just I think one of the most flexible teams. They can be used for anything pretty much. I think the only thing that it arguably couldn't be used for, or no, that it would be slightly harder to use it for, would be horrific Scarecrow probably. Even Phase 3 I could see it being used. But yeah, so it's a very flexible team. And it's still good, but it's a jack of all trades. But then again, it doesn't supply like as much damage as other pips nowadays do supply. So that's why it's at number 7, but you should still definitely work on them. And keep in mind, this video is just for raids. If this video was for, like, overall, then Just League Cyborg and Just League in general would be way higher on the list, but this is just for raids, keep in mind. And when you are using Just League Cyborg, I think the best, he goes quite well with Justice League Aquaman, so that's good to keep in mind. And yeah. So number 6, we have another character that I don't really have worked on. It's Batman Ninja Robin. So he's a very I think he's been quite good for a long time. He's been able to do decent damage, not like amazing damage, but decent damage because he's had that armor pierce special 3, which I think people slept on for a bit. Then people woke up and realized that this guy was actually pretty strong with his armor pierce special 3. Then, furthermore, I think NetherRealm reduced the power cost. What is it now? Yeah, it was 6. It's 6 now. I think it was 7 before. Now they reduced it to 6. That made it even more. And then adding on to that, this is the most recent wave of refactors. We've had Batman and Robin and Catwoman both be reworked. So that's made Robin even more powerful, and he could do a lot of damage. And in my opinion, he has probably one of the best special 3s in the game. With the armor pierce, not much power, only 6 bars, and also, and with Batman Ninja Gorilla Grodd, every time you hit a lethal, you gain power, so that makes it even easier to gain that power to get to that special 3. So yeah, he's just a very good character. And obviously, as I said, like just a second ago, he's best paired with Gorilla Grodd and then one other support to make him do pretty well. And on top of this, his special 3 also heals him. And he's best versus horrific Scarecrow, I think, but he's also quite flexible. He can do other things. Dr. Fate, even, he can do. But yeah, like a one-shot tier 6 and can do a decent amount of damage to tier 7 and 8. I think he can do around 10 million, which is very good for tier 8. I think this is in tier 8, you can do 10 million. I'm not sure. That might be a bit lower, maybe even a bit higher, but I think it's around the 10 million mark, maybe I think 7 to 10 million. And in tier 8, that is a good amount because overall 100 million damage needed per boss or phase, that's not bad. So his passive 1 means that he's better at combo building because it adds 5 hits on, and you can't go below 5 hits. Cause it's kind of like Blade Master Robin, but better. And his passive 2 adds the lethal attack damage on for his lethal hits. So you really want to be building this guy with lethal and crit build to utilize him to best. Now at number 5, we have a character that's been in a game for a decent while now. It's Multiverse Armored Supergirl. Now, this person, before I think she came out, Captain Cold was considered one of the hardest phases. I think only being topped by probably phase 2, and the only team that could really do well against him was Justice League. But then she came out, and she is built for nothing apart from Captain Cold. She's good against Gorilla Grodd as well, because Gorilla Grodd also has that crit resist, but Captain Cold has pretty much almost full crit resist. Now, phase 2, I think this is something that people sometimes get confused on. Phase 2 is immune. It's not resistant, it's immune, so she's not good in phase 2. In Captain Cold is resistant, so he's got a high resist, but he's not immune to it. So what Multiverse Armored Supergirl does, for those who don't know, is she, with her special one, she gets rid of that resist, and then you just for this you also for her pimp you also do it's best if you have Multiverse the Flash as well because his passives add on to her, and you basically just build her as full attack, and then the passives help along with her specials buffs, and then you just use the special one to apply the burn, and then just carry on, just spam special threes, and then special one, spam special threes with Multiverse Flash making small combos, and it's just an overall pip, and it's probably one of the best Captain Cold pips. Obviously in phases, obviously in phases like, obviously in tiers like tier 7 and 8, I think the best, yeah, it's I think he's one of the best Captain Cold pips, and pretty much one of the only people that can do what she does. She can one shot tier 6 Gorilla Grodd and Captain Cold. I know that she can one shot tier 6, and I assume that she can one shot Gorilla Grodd. It's been ages since I've seen any videos, but I assume she can. I'm pretty sure she can, and she could do I think probably 5 to 6 million, maybe higher damage in tier 7 and 8. So yeah, she's the reason why she's so high is because she is one of the only people that can do what she does. So moving on to our fourth spot, we have Silver Banshee. Now I think everyone knew that she was going to be up here somewhere, and well, I think it's fairly obvious. She does very, very high damage on Doctor Fate. Now, not counting King Atlantis Aquaman's special 3, because his special 3 is different. It does a lot, it does a percentage of damage, but if we're talking about tier 6 and not counting tier 7 and 8, her special 3 does the most damage like out of everyone. Like you can do up to I think 2.1 billion damage. I think the highest I've seen is 2.1 billion. But it does a lot of damage. So she is best for Doctor Fate, but she can also be used for phase 1 and phase 3, but I think the best phases to use are on a Doctor Fate in phase 3, and she is a classic example of a full on just glass cannon. So again, I said this earlier when I was talking about Reverse Flash, but she works best with Reverse Flash, and I'm not going to go into detail about how you use her because I've just realized that this video is quite long, and I don't want it to be too long, but yeah, so she does a lot of damage, and I'd definitely recommend working on her because she is one of the best characters right now anyway. She can do some of the highest damage. She does around 10 to 15 million damage on Doctor Fate in tier 7 and 8, and honestly, tier 6, I shouldn't even have to say this, but she could one shot in like a minute. She could one shot in less than a minute. She's absolutely insane. She can do like 2 million special threes, paired with reverse flash. She is just amazing. And also as a support, it's probably best to use Power Girl or Doctor Fate. So you could just make that whole lot quicker and just do a lot more damage. I think the only downside about her is that maybe it takes a bit of time to get used to her playstyle, where you literally just can't you can't keep her in for long. Like you should do the special 3, then the special ones, and then tag out. Um, because like you breathe at her and she will die. She's not got a lot of health. She's got full defense from like all her different. You don't even have to add any defense on to with talents or um, gear effects because she's got pretty much full defense at gear 60, and at gear 70 she's got full defense. So you don't have to do anything there, but she's not got a lot of health. And I'm not saying I should recommend you play her with health rolls, but you just need to be careful. Yeah. Now, breaking into our top 3 characters, I have someone that is very new to the meta, and I'd like to say that was introduced by someone in my league called Charming Rogue, as everyone knows him, and it's Batman Ninja Catwoman. So again, she was a part of the Batman Ninja refactor, which was basically her and Robin, and she like at the moment I this is that she's the only person that I know of that has this type of hyper offensive playstyle. And I'm not gonna go too much into detail about her gameplay, that is, but all that you need to know is that literally just don't block. You just full on straight up just attack. Like you don't do anything else. And if you guys want to see an example of that, I'll leave a link below to my friend from my league's YouTube channel, Charming Rogue. So definitely recommend to go check him out because he does show some of the best gameplay around of her. And you can just see on his channel like how much damage she can do to each phase. She's a very versatile character. Like off the top of my head, the phases that I can think of that she does well on are phase 3. Obviously, anyone could do well in phase 1. So the ones that I can think of are phase 3, Doctor Fey, Horrific Scarecrow. I think she one shot Captain Cold or did high damage to Captain Cold in tier 6. That is obviously not tier 7 or 8. But she is just an amazing character, and her immortality helps that. Like you just heal with a special 2 when that immortality triggers, and you use Batman Ninja Gorilla Grodd and Batman Ninja Robin as sports. So if you want to go see that, I'll leave the link down below, which I definitely recommend you do check out. Now at number 2, I have obviously I think one of the best right now is Last Laugh the Joker. Now, I think Last Laugh the Joker is one of the easiest ways to just a lot of easy damage, and he can. I think in tier 7, Metalicious, who's also from my league, he did 39 million to phase 1, so that's where he's best at phase 1. He can also do well in Gorilla Grodd, so those are the 2 phases. Now, if I was making this for like uh more like high skill players, I would say that there would be an argument that Batman Ninja Catwoman is better than Last Laugh the Joker since she's more versatile. But I think what redeems the Joker or LOA as a team is that he does a ton of damage. Like he does like at 15 to 30 million to to tier 8 phase 1. You can also do around like 10 to 15 million, I think, in Gorilla Grodd. And he's very easy for new players. Literally, all you do is tap, you kill off your one support, and you keep Poison Ivy and him alive, and then you just attack, attack, attack. You can do the special 2 juggle infinite, oh, not infinite, but you can do his juggle, and then when he gets low on health, you tag in Poison Ivy, use the quick heal, which is basically just one combo because the heal is so high, and then tag him back in and just do a load of damage. Tier 6, he can one shot, I think, he can one shot in 30 seconds, 40 seconds. I've done it, quickest I've done it is 1.5 minutes, but that's because uh, that was before I added fast attack onto my Joker. Fast attack just makes him a whole lot better, and honestly, the team that I'd recommend you use on him if he has full fast attack or high fast attack is him, Poison Ivy, and Justin the Flash, ungeared, so he can die quickly. But if you don't have full fast attack, then, or if you don't have like very high or any fast attack, then I'd recommend using maybe Speed Force the Flash, also ungeared, so you can add that extra fast attack. So yeah, his basics do a lot of damage. Like they do a lot of damage, especially with the fast attack. The DOT that comes with the basics because of Poison Ivy, they just lead to a shit ton of damage. And uh, well, he's number 2 on the list, so he is the second person or team I'd recommend you work on. Now, guys, taking our number 1 spot, I think this is fairly obvious. Everyone knows who it is. It's King of Atlantis, Aquaman. Now, I think he's just the undisputed at the moment best card in raids. He's I think one of the most versatile characters. He could use him. Yeah, he could be used in any phase. Like he could one shot. I think any phase. I don't know about Captain Cold. I think he could one shot Captain Cold with the right build. But yeah, he could with crit build. I'm pretty sure he could one shot any phase. That's just it. Yeah. So his special 3s do I think well they do like around 500k per special 3. It's 10%. Yeah, his special 3 does 10% of the boss's health in tier 6, and then tier 7 I'm not sure exactly what it is. I know that in tier 8, sorry, his special 3 does around 3 million damage per hit, and that's for the first 3 special 3s. Then it goes back to normal, and then you obviously do 3 special 2s to get the full boost. Then his super, because of the boost, can do, well, I don't even know how much it could do. It could do like at least a million damage. I think as the highest I've seen is 1.2, 1.5 million. I don't know. It could just do a lot of damage, and everyone, this is the first character you should work on, no doubt. First character. And honestly, he's 100% worth taking him to gear 70. This is what I've done, and yeah, Tis, and just to show how influential, how impactful he is on the game, Tier 7 and Tier 8 would 100% not be completable without this guy. Without him, you would not be able to complete Tier 7 and 8. He's just that strong. And honestly, I think that this guy would probably top Justice League in how impactful his presence in the game has been on launch. Because obviously Justice League was quite strong when they launched, but I think this guy probably takes that cake. This guy probably takes the cake, and he is the most powerful character in Raids. That's just it, straight there. And I don't think anyone could argue that he is not the best character in Raids. That was a long video. But yeah, if you disagree with any of my points, or if you think that this should be switched around, I am open to those opinions. This is obviously just my opinion. Everyone has different opinions, and voice yours down below in the comments section. And with that, that brings the video to a close. So if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below, as I said, your opinion of this list. I understand that many people would disagree with this, but this is just my opinion on what the newer players should work on. So yeah, guys, that's it with the video. This is Epic Ninja Dude signing out. Peace.